This bulletin proudly brought to you in association with Alex Campbell's Menswear.
Tonight on The South Today, this year's yellow-eyed penguin chicks in Moeraki are taken into care after 3 chicks die from a suspected ferret attack. More than 360 secondary school pupils are attending the University of Otago's latest hands-on program, exploring study options. And Ashburton people are being encouraged to get amongst it and join a regular summer walking and running group. Kia ora, good evening, I'm Melissa Barton. This year's yellow-eyed penguin chicks at Moeraki have been taken into care after 3 were killed probably by a ferret. Nearly all of the 49 chicks born at the 2 Moeraki colonies are now in the care of Penguin Rescue, with staff saying human intervention was the only way to keep them safe.
How are you feeling? You're going to get cleaned out in a minute.
Safe in captivity. Nearly all of the 49 yellow-eyed penguin chicks born this season at Moeraki, just south of Oamaru, are in the care of Penguin Rescue after 3 were killed by predators. Manager Rosalie Goldsworthy says the nearly fully grown chicks no longer have their parents around all the time to help fend off predators such as weasels, stoats or ferrets.
They're of an age where the parents hide them and use their camouflage so they can both go out to sea and go fishing. So they're home alone.
Yellow-eyed Penguin Trust Science Advisor Dr. Trudy Webster says the 3 dead chicks were studied to try and find out what kind of predator may have killed them.
The vets that do the necropsy up at Massey could tell from the spacing of the puncture wounds from the teeth and also the size that the chicks were. The chicks were 4 kgs, so this was a larger predator. So yeah, it's most likely that that was a ferret.
Despite trap lines catching 3 ferrets, it was unclear if any of those had been responsible for the predation, and there was still grave concern about the safety of the remaining chicks at Moeraki.
Ferrets are actually known to return to the scene of the crime, and so, you know, if they do go back to where they have found hoi-ho chicks before, they're likely to kill again, and so obviously that leaves a lot of those hoi-ho chicks vulnerable to predation.
Goldsworthy admits it was a big call to take the chicks away from their parents.
These chicks are now safe. They're safe from predators and they're safe from mosquitoes, which is their other big danger. So intervening like that, it is a very serious thing to do, and we don't have any regrets, because we couldn't keep them safe out there.
The birds are being hand-fed meals of fresh fish twice a day and are set to remain in their specially designed pen until they fledge in early February. In Moeraki, The South Today.
A driver was lucky to escape serious injury after their car rolled on the Dunedin Southern Motorway this morning. Police say they were called to the scene around 7:45 a.m. after the crash in the northbound lane near Saddle Hill Road. Northbound traffic building up behind the crash was being diverted through Fairfield. As 3 Mile Hill Road is currently closed due to roadworks, it could not be used as an alternative route. An ODT photographer at the scene says the female driver was out of the vehicle, appearing shaken but unhurt. A witness posted to social media saying the crash happened after the woman's car struck a spare tyre which came off the vehicle in front of her. School pupils from around the country are learning more about the surprising world of nanochemistry by creating bright colours in fluids. More than 360 secondary school pupils are attending the University of Otago's latest Hands-on at Otago program this week, exploring study options at the university.
Filling young minds with the food of science. Pupils from more than 160 schools have converged at the University of Otago for the Hands-on series of events, with this group looking at silver on a nanotechnology level.
So everyone thinks silver's silver like rings and earrings and things, but when your particles get really, really small and they're about the same wavelength of light, they interact with light in a different way and they don't reflect light, they suddenly start absorbing light. So by changing the size slightly, we can get different colours.
The nanoscale world usually ranges from a millionth of a millimetre to 100 nanometres. Otago Chemistry Department Outreach Coordinator Dave Warren says the pupils love the chance to experiment with silver nanotechnology.
One of my jobs in my outreach project, which is running this, is it's about trying to share chemistry with high school kids and primary school kids in some schools as well, just to show them actually chemistry is not that scary. And if you know a little bit of chemistry, you can actually do quite a lot of fun stuff at the same time.
The smaller particles absorb light at the blue end of the spectrum and so look red or yellow. Invercargill pupil Ania Bradley says the hands-on sessions are a great way to introduce intending students to study at Otago.
It's actually been really great. It's so informative and it really does give you a taste of the uni life, so it helps you really find if the project that you thought you wanted to do when you came to Otago is actually what you want to do. It's really good.
Ania Bradley says she intends to study health sciences at Otago University. In Dunedin, the South Today.
Rodney Williams-Peoples appeared in the Dunedin District Court yesterday after previously pleading guilty to aggravated refusal to provide a blood specimen. The court heard the 5-time drink driver went berserk when he was arrested and had to be pepper sprayed. On the 13th of June, Peoples was facing serious charges featuring his ex-partner and went out drinking in Dunedin in breach of his bail. Police were informed and went looking for Peoples. He complied with a breath test when he was pulled over on Hillside Road, but he became highly agitated in the back of a police car. At that point, the assailant had to be pepper sprayed and handcuffed by police. The judge banned him from driving for 28 days with an alcohol interlock licence to follow. About 100 people of all ages and ability turned up to Run and Walk Ashburton's first event in its summer series this week. Organisers say the emphasis is on participation and simply getting amongst it.
Putting their best feet forward. Every Tuesday until the end of daylight saving, Ashburton people are being invited to join a walking and running group, which organisers say has been growing in popularity over the past few years.
We've got just under 100 people have arrived this evening, which is fantastic turnout for our first night.
Group spokeswoman Alison Conway says there are a lot of new faces turning up to the Ashburton Domain to walk, run and chat with others. She says any style of human propulsion is welcomed.
So people can either walk, run or hybrid, run or walk, crawl, whatever, just so long as they're moving towards the finish line.
Conway says people can aim for a variety of distances from just 1 kilometre up to 5 kilometres. And organisers say people can track their progress on a weekly basis.
Each week we send out times so that they've got an idea of how they're improving. And it's, everyone's welcome, families, young and old.
She says there are about 100 participants at this week's event and people are invited to gather at Ashburton's Walnut Ave Pavilion before the event kicks off at 6 p.m. In Ashburton, the South Today.
Still to come on the South Today, we have the latest edition of Global Insight with international affairs expert Professor Robert Patman. So see you after the break.
When it's time to say goodbye to your pet, Heaven Sent Pet Cremations are here to help you through this difficult experience. Call Heaven Sent Pet Cremations today for their care and guidance. Phone 489-2274.
Every reason, every season, we're proud to dress the region. Alex Campbell Menswear, it fits.
You've seen us in the street, now find us online. Check out shopon.org.nz. We have all sorts of treasures, from retro and vintage clothing to antiques, homewares and accessories. New items added every week. We're open 24/7.
Garrador Dunedin, delivering quality, stylish garage doors in Dunedin for over 17 years. New doors, replacement doors and maintenance are all part of Garrador's quality service. Garrador Dunedin offers a full range of modern quality doors to suit any home. Come visit the team.
Larnach Castle is proud to showcase their new retail space. Simply purchase an annual garden pass for year-round access to the garden, cafe and gift shop, or apply for a host card giving you full access to the castle, ballroom, cafe, gift shop and garden when accompanied by a full paying guest. Check out the website for full terms and conditions.
A poorly maintained heat pump can lose up to 35% of its output. The Mr. Heat Pump Cleaner team are experts. Their specially developed chemical wash is totally biodegradable. Call Mr. Heat Pump Cleaner and get the job done by the professionals.
If you're at risk of developing melanoma skin cancer, you owe it to yourself to have a mole map. Mole Map is coming to your area. Phone today to make an appointment. It could save your life.
Step into Ross Cafe, located at Ross Home in North East Valley. We have a great range of hot and cold food, friendly service and a warm atmosphere that you are sure to enjoy. We look forward to serving you soon at Ross Cafe.
If you're suffering from sciatica, lower back pain, hips and pelvis and knees, this technique will work wonders for you. The energy flow is transmitting through the muscles. Come and see Sunny Chin.
Welcome back. Dunedin City saw a lift in the medium sale price, up from $420,000 to $485,000. REINZ regional commentator Liz Nidd says sales volumes are down 18.4% from last December. Nidd says the market continues to remain buoyant and prices are expected to continue to rise. She says the city is seeing many expats returning and entirely new purchases coming to the city. The increasing popularity of Dunedin is likely to be pushing up prices in the region. In today's Global Insight, Professor Robert Patman says social media giants need to be held to account to ensure free and fair elections. The Dunedin-based international affairs expert says New Zealand needs to build an alliance of nation-states to defend democratic values and institutions.
Here at the start of 2020, New Zealand sees its place in the world differently to how it did 1 year ago. Welcome, Robert.
Morning, Bruce.
10 months after the Christchurch Mosque's terror attack, life in New Zealand feels much the same as it did before March 15. And yet, in a fortnight, the University of Otago is hosting a conference titled National Security in the Post-Christchurch Era. So clearly something is different. What has changed?
Well, I think in the abstract, or in theory, a lot has changed, because it was only in March last year that we suffered the most appalling episode of terrorism on our soil. And on the 15th of March there was an attack which killed 51 people. And I think that was a huge shock. It was sort of, in a sense, New Zealand's 9/11 moment. Have we fully adjusted to that new security environment, or changed security environment we face ourselves in? I'm not sure. I don't think so. We've taken a number of initiatives, and I think the Christchurch call in particular has been prominent. It's generated some good results. Twitter, for example, have now banned political advertisements, and Jack Dorsey, the chief of Twitter, met with Jacinda Ardern, and that was a productive meeting, and I think we can be pleased by that outcome. But Facebook, which was the organisation which carried the live images of the atrocity, have refused to ban political ads, which are which may be based, even if they're based on false information. So they're taking money for political ads which may be completely untrue, which is generating the sort of environment in which these atrocities occur.
Looking ahead, during 2020, do you envisage further security initiatives beyond the Christchurch call?
Yes, I think that's the beginning. And for the reasons I've just gone through, I think New Zealand needs to start building bridges with countries like Canada, Australia, the members of the EU, which share our fundamental values. A liberal democracy, a belief in the rule of law, and also we need to align ourselves with countries which accept that many of the problems that countries face, whether they be in the environmental area or the security area, need international solutions. In short, I think New Zealand should not shy away from the fact that we are part of a majority of countries that need international cooperation. And unfortunately, there are a number of players at the moment on the international scene which don't take that view. And the UK has attacked, both the UK and the United States in recent years have attacked multilateral institutions which New Zealand holds in high regard. So that we need to be quite clear. I think to specifically answer your question, I think we need to intensify pressure on the likes of Facebook. I don't think they should be allowed to undermine democracy by very rich people, often billionaires, paying for political adverts which are completely false and which are widely disseminated. That's not in the interests of citizens in liberal democracy. You could argue that until groups like Facebook are tackled, maintaining and holding fair and free democratic elections may become increasingly problematic. So we've got some big challenges ahead. I think New Zealand can play a very constructive role in it.
Thank you, Robert.
Thanks, Bruce.
And thank you for watching. Catch us next time on Global Insight. Ka kite anō.
And you can view the full interview with Professor Patman online at odt.co.nz. After the break on the South Today, construction of a new fuel station in Andersons Bay Road, Dunedin is in full swing, and we have tomorrow's weather for you, so stay with us.
Step into Shop on Carroll and discover a shop full of treasures. We have a fantastic range of vintage and retro clothes, upmarket clothing labels, collectible items, beautiful jewellery, quality linen and the best range of vintage haberdashery.
A poorly maintained heat pump can lose up to 35% of its output. The Mr. Heat Pump Cleaner team are experts. Their specially developed chemical wash is totally biodegradable. Call Mr. Heat Pump Cleaner and get the job done by the professionals.
Larnach Castle is proud to showcase their new retail space. Simply purchase an annual garden pass for year-round access to the garden, cafe and gift shop, or apply for a host card giving you full access to the castle, ballroom, cafe, gift shop and garden when accompanied by a full paying guest. Check out the website for full terms and conditions.
Garrador Dunedin, delivering quality, stylish garage doors in Dunedin for over 17 years. New doors, replacement doors and maintenance are all part of Garrador's quality service. Garrador Dunedin offers a full range of modern quality doors to suit any home. Come visit the team.
When it's time to say goodbye to your pet, Heaven Sent Pet Cremations are here to help you through this difficult experience. Call Heaven Sent Pet Cremations today for their care and guidance. Phone 489 2274. If you're at risk of developing melanoma skin cancer, you owe it to yourself to have a mole map. Mole Map is coming to your area. Phone today to make an appointment. It could save your life.
Every reason, every season, we're proud to dress the region. Alex Campbell Menswear, it fits.
Step into Op Shop on St Andrew and discover a place with plenty of bargains for yourself, your friends and the whole family. We have new items arriving every day. Visit us for a fabulous range of economy and upmarket clothing, accessories, books, shoes and more. Shop with us and support your community.
Thanks for staying with us. Construction of a new fuel station in Andersons Bay Road, Dunedin is in full swing as Nelson Petroleum Distributors gets set to open its third Dunedin outlet in March. A digger fills trucks with earth, and when they're filled, a worker with a stop-go sign makes sure the way is clear for trucks to exit. Nelson-based NPD was granted resource consent by the Dunedin City Council in September last year. Signs are on Andersons Bay Road warning motorists of the potential hazard. While trucks remove earth, others come in loaded with rocks used for road building and foundation work. According to the resource consent, NPD plans to open a self-service station with 6 double-sided petrol and diesel pumps. And now recapping tonight's top stories on the South today. This year's yellow-eyed penguin chicks at Moeraki had been taken into care after 3 were killed probably by a ferret. More than 360 secondary school pupils are attending the University of Otago's latest hands-on program, exploring study options. And Ashburton people are being encouraged to get amongst it and join a regular summer walking and running group. And now look at what's happening in tomorrow's ODT. Welcome Hayden Meikle, what have you got for us in tomorrow's paper?
Well, good evening, Mel, for the first time in 2020. Doesn't that sound weird?
It does. It does sound weird.
Very strange. So yeah, a few bits and pieces. We start with a rather disturbing story from down in South Otago, where a Milton businessman, a refugee from Afghanistan, has been claiming he's been plagued by racial harassment in the town. So we've looked into that. The local mayor, I think, is outraged, shocked and horrified that such a thing is going on in that town. So an interesting but a disturbing story.
Yeah, I certainly hope that if it is happening, that it stops pretty quickly.
Absolutely, yeah. We look back on the life of Moi Kim Ing, this remarkable Dunedin woman who died, aged 108, one of, if not the oldest people in New Zealand. So we've got some nice background on her life. Parking, of course, car parking, always going to be an issue in this city. Finally, the DCC has given an update on the St Andrew Street car park, the gravel car park, which a lot of us use. It's a bit riddled with potholes at the moment. My little car doesn't quite like it. So work there is going to start in April or May. It'll be closed for a couple of months, and I think there'll be 75 fewer parks there, but possibly some others created when it reopens.
Hopefully, because I think some people sound like they're like in social media. There's always someone making a comment about the lack of parks.
Always plenty of anger, isn't there?
Yes.
We've got a lovely story and photo about a Dunedin man who's been giving scenic flights to kids over our region. He used to do a service for the Starship Hospital service, ferrying kids up there. So that's lovely. And in sport, yes, it's rugby season. Believe it or not, it's not really, but we do have a Highlanders story. They're in Sydney to play the Waratahs in a pre-season game tomorrow night, and it is a very green, very raw Highlanders team that has been named. So that, plus we'll have the latest on the Otago Sparks elimination final today, which I don't think was going too well. Other bits and pieces in the sports pages. So I'm sure there'll be plenty to read tomorrow, Mel.
Fantastic, thank you, Hayden. And you can catch all of that in tomorrow's ODT. Now it's time for a look at the weather.
Tonight's weather proudly brought to you by Mole Map.
Starting with the southern view, low tide on the Otago Peninsula with clouds reflected on the water. Looking at the situation, as this week's anticyclone starts to move away, a warmer northerly airstream will start to blow over southern New Zealand, with plenty more sunshine for eastern areas and some warm temperatures inland. Starting off at the northwest of the South Island, Greymouth and Westport are set for maybe a cloud or two with a high of 21 degrees. Across to the northeast, break out the sunscreen and plan for clear skies over Nelson and Blenheim, where you can both expect 23 degrees. Moving down to Canterbury, you'll have some cloudy skies across this area. Kaikoura and Christchurch head for 18, while it should reach 23 degrees in Ashburton, where you'll have bright blue skies. To the southern towns, the Catlins, Balclutha, Lumsden and Gore are due for moderate northeasterlies and fine weather. The Catlins reaches 19, Balclutha and Lumsden head for 25, while the mercury should reach 23 degrees in Gore. Heading to central Otago, where summer temperatures continue with light winds and clear skies for all. And like the rest of us, wearing hats and sunscreen would be a great idea. Wanaka and Alexandra should reach 28, Queenstown should be one less on 27 degrees, and Tiana, you're set for 20 degrees and maybe a cloud or two. The heat continues inland to the northern towns. Timaru and Oamaru should plan for moderate northeasterlies and cloudy skies. Timaru reaches 20, Oamaru 19, Twizel and Amarama, you're set for light winds and clear skies, and you're both set for a sizzling 29-degree high. In Dunedin, mostly fine tonight, looking at an overnight low of 11. Fine weather tomorrow with breezy northeasterly winds, a high of 17 and a low of 12. Similar weather for Saturday with a high of 18 and a low of 13 degrees. And in Invercargill, fine and cool tonight with an overnight low of 9 degrees. Tomorrow plan for a few patches of mist or low cloud morning and night. Otherwise fine and sunny, a high of 23 and a low of 11. And it's similar conditions on Saturday with moderate northerly winds, a high of 24 and a low of 12. That's all from the South Today team for this Thursday. For the latest news from the southern region, head online to odt.co.nz and follow Channel 39 on Facebook and YouTube. Have a great evening. Ka kite anō.
This bulletin proudly brought to you in association with Alex Campbell's Menswear.
Supporting local content so you can see more of New Zealand on air.